Hey there everybody, this is Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell to share with you today. We're going to be playing with a new set that I've just purchased, the Peaceful Place stamp set. It's got this lovely scene on a large stamp, and then it's got this cute little squirrel down here that we can highlight, which is what I'm doing today. Now, I got this set just recently, like I said, because I really thought I wanted to play with some scaping scenery stamps, so I thought why not start with this one. I figured it could be a nice fall or spring kind of card, and it happened to work out. As you know, I do different sketches challenges online, so Case the Sketch was doing this simple layout, and then the Fab Friday group is doing a color challenge with Cajun Craze, Mint Macaroon, Blackberry Bliss, and Tranquil Tide. So I thought, okay, well, let's give it a try. So here was the design I came up with for my card. So that was kind of based on this sketch here, but then I used Mint Macaroon and Tranquil Tide just by chance for the card base and my highlight color. And then I thought, okay, well, that's 2 out of 4, so let's just try to use the Cajun Craze and the Blackberry Bliss in my scape. So I colored this one like an oak tree because I have a giant oak tree in my backyard. And then I just put that Blackberry Bliss in the stream, which I kind of thought in the fall afternoon it would look darker, so why not? So I'm going to enter that in that challenge, and I'm going to show you today how I went ahead and put this card together. So we are going to be using our blends, so we're going to be stamping with Memento ink, and it goes together pretty quickly. The blends take a little time, but it goes together pretty quickly. So I have, like I was saying, a Mint Macaroon card base. Okay, and I'm using Tranquil Tide as my accent color. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold and crease my base. Okay, now I did steal an oval out of my mount here using my oval framelits. Okay, so that's going to be part of my accent down here, and we're going to cover that right up. I'm stamping on shimmer white because I wanted some of that extra sheen in the card without having to add embellishments. So I'm going to do that with shimmer paper, and then I've cut another oval using my stitch shape oval for the little squirrel highlight. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. So I need to stamp. I'm going to stamp my squirrel first. So I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp that right there on my oval. Okay, we're going to let that dry for a minute. Then I'm going to bring in the one that's the scape scene. I'm going to apply my Memento ink on my stamp. Make sure I get all that detail inked up. And then I'm just going to put this down on my rectangle here. Now I cut this pretty close to size for the stamp itself. It's almost exactly the size of block because I didn't want there to be a lot of extra paper around the scene. So I think I've applied enough pressure. Good. Now Stamparatus is perfect for larger stamps like this because if you stamp it and then you miss some of it, you can just flip it over and stamp again. But I was taking my chances there, and I just did it with my block. So whatever you feel more comfortable with. Now, one thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it before I start coloring so that this has a chance to dry, is I had the oval, but see when I put the oval on there, let me lay this out for you for a second. So that's just going to be framed and put up there on the corner. So then I have my oval here with my squirrel, right? But I thought that's a little bit bigger than maybe I want it to be. So as you can see, I've kind of truncated it down here. So all I did was I took my paper snips and I came right along the bottom of my image. Okay, so I did leave a little bit of frame there just to mimic the frame around the edge. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to snail that onto my mount, my Tranquil Tide. Okay, and then I'm just going to snip that right across the bottom as well, just leaving a little bit of framing down there. Okay, so little trimming to be done. All right, so while these are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and mount this one up. See, we hide where we stole that piece behind. No problem. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to blot this. I think it's probably dry. Yep, it is dry. Okay, so I'm using crumb cake. I'm using the lightest crumb cake. And I'm going to do the squirrel's body. So very lightly, just adding some color to my image. Now I'm kind of polka dotting my ink on there because I don't want it to be too wet and bleed. And I also want to add a little bit of white space in my image possibly, so that it's not too solid. You know, I don't want it to look like a stuffed animal. I want it to look like a squirrel. Okay, now for the darker, I'm going to do the tail. Now I almost did my squirrel red because we happen to have a red squirrel in the yard, but I decided to stick with my neutral crumb cake here, but I may make another one with my little red squirrel. So there's my bushy tail. Now I am going to use Old Olive, and I'm going to pick up some of this accent. Actually, I'm going to use the fine tip. I'm going to pick up some of this detail. There's a little tuft of grass here, and then there's another one I'm seeing in the image down there. So I'm going to add some green there, and then we've got a little bit of leaf over here, and there's some little flowers right on the edge of that stamp that I'm going to highlight with a pumpkin pie. But I did the green first, and now I'm going to bring in my bronze, and I'm going to give it a nice shading to the rock that squirrel is standing on. So I guess it could be a rock, or I guess it could be like a rotting stump even. So I wanted to give it more of that earth tone in there. So I go right up to where the green was, which now helps highlight where that green is, but it's not muddy. I'm going to put a little more green right around that flower. Okay, so now I'm going to bring my pumpkin pie in. I'm going to use the light one and do the flowers. So there's a little triplet of flowers there. And then I'm going to use my dark pumpkin pie and just do the centers, just so they're kind of two-tone and have a little bit of dimension. Okay, so there's our squirrel. Now, the first one I laid out, I was going to leave the scape black and white and just do the squirrel colored down here. But then I was thinking about the color challenge, and I wanted to add color into the photo, so I did. So this is what it would look like black and white, and here's what it looks like with various color schemes in there. Now, how did I do the thinking of you? So here's the stamp from the set. It says, "Thinking of you with gratitude for your part in my journey." But all I really wanted to use was this "thinking of you." So what I'm going to do is I'm taking my standard Stampin' Write marker, and I'm just going to ink those three words. So I'm selectively choosing the wording I want, or some of us say we're omitting the rest of the stamp by not inking it. So I'm just going to marker my ink on the selected parts. Okay, and then I can see through my clear block, and it's got a nice square top. So I'm just going to line that up with my image there to put it down here on the bottom. So there's another little trick for today, okay, is selective or omitting stamping. So it's as easy as that. So there are three options on the card. Obviously you could color your scape any way you want. You could do it with the blends, you could do it with watercolors, you could do it with the markers. The brush options are endless here for how you want to put the cards together. So there is my show and tell for today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, thumbs up and comments are appreciated. Let me know that you're enjoying the work I'm doing and sharing with you. again, the set I used was Peaceful Place, and I will have the links to both the Case This Sketch and the Fab Friday challenges in the comments below, as well as how you can sign up for my show and tell news, which comes out on Tuesday, where I'll have the video and the PDF tutorial for these projects. So, hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're having a very good holiday month with Thanksgiving coming next week, so stay tuned and I'll have more to share. Alright everybody, do some fun stamping today. Bye-bye.